What's up, guys? In another episode of L-Moes World, and I'm L-Moe, of course. And y'all see this? Stir fry. It came out of a bag. Pop it in the microwave, pop it on the stovetop. It's complete. But also, when I was mowing the yard earlier, I got to thinking about some things. I believe, as a country or as a civilization, that everything's just become way too automatic, because I got to thinking about there are automated lawnmowers. You know, they're electrical. I think there might even be some gas ones. I don't know. But that's not the point. The point is they either have a underground fence system that marks out the territory that you put down under the ground, or may even be an above ground, just like a stake you drive in the ground. I could be, but the point is, you've got those, and then you got the ones that just have a perimeter you map out the first time you use it, and they mow your yard for you all by itself. It comes out once a week, mows your yard, goes back, plugs itself back in, or expects you to fill it with gas. Or it may even have it. They may even have a tank on the station. I don't know, but everything's automatic. You know, mowing the yard, to me, I live on a hillside, so it's a little more physical than what some, because I do have to push mow a lot of it. But even push mowing, I can either take that time to listen to my favorite podcast on YouTube, listen to a church sermon on YouTube, or listen to music. Or I can also take some time, reflect, think, clear my head about, things I need to dwell on. Gives me thinking time, gives me clarity of mind. And you miss that. And I understand there are busy people. If you're a business person, you got a small yard, go for it. It beats paying a yard person. It really does. Because it's cheaper, obviously. It'll pay for itself. But the point is if you're just buying one just because you don't want to get out and mow the yard, then you're missing out on all that clarity. Time, even though it's physical, it's time to yourself, mentally. And that's really what's important in the world today. But that also got me thinking about a lot of other things. Yeah, I got all this from a bowl of teriyaki and teriyaki noodles that you buy in the freezer section. And for all you that's watching that know me, I know it's not on my diet. I know it's not on the keto diet, but this video was recorded on my cheat day, and you can best bet I'm probably going to eat it all. Don't judge me. Anyway, that's besides the point. But it got me to thinking about other things, like the Roomba, the robotic vacuum. I mean, yeah, it makes chores easier. But then, and granted, Roombas cannot pick up a lot of things. Or iRobot, what are they called? Just automatic vacuums. Automatic sweepers. They take a lot of the work out. But there's also a loss of, I think, sense of responsibility. Responsibility to keep your house clean. If you got a robot that sweeps your floor for you, what are they going to do next? They've already got machines that'll fold your clothes. Granted, for right now, they're probably in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. But eventually, everything's going to be robotic. And I wouldn't doubt that in the future, if the world lasts that long, that we won't have android, humanoid robots as maids or servants. Of course, that brings the whole story of iRobot and all robots going together and trying to defeat the human population. And that is possible. If you get a computer that will think for itself, it could. That's a scary thought. But, we go back to the Roomba. There's one invention that is automatic that we need. One. Well, no. Yeah, just one. The automatic ice maker. Okay? The dishwasher, that's a luxury. But the ice maker. I forget to fill the trays all the time. And the amount of ice that I go through, because I love my drinks cold. I can't hardly drink one hot. Granted, I'm spoiled in that. I know there are people out there that haven't had a cold drink in their life. But the ice maker just solves a lot of problems. I wish everybody could have one. The little tabletop ones. Just send everybody one, But also, the automatic transmission. Is it necessary in today's society? Yes. Could you imagine how many clutches would be burned up right now trying to teach today's teenagers how to drive stick shift? No more. Oh well. The automatic transmission, it solves a lot. Makes it so easy to drive vehicles. You don't have to worry about rolling back on a hill. You don't have to worry about, switching gears. You don't have to worry about pressing that clutch pedal every time you hit the brake to come to a stop. I've drove a standard transmission, and yes, it is very important that you press that clutch, because you will burn that clutch out fast if you never press it. Point is, if we go to automatic, then our kids will want even more automaticness. Is that even a word? I don't know. But they'll even want more automaticness. So, we started out in the 50s and whatnot, whenever the microwave was invented. This miniature oven that would cook stuff lightning fast. From that to the dishwasher. Of course, the automatic transmission was way before that. And then they kept moving up the line, and each generation wanted some machine to take the place of a responsibility that they had. Will also, in my opinion, lead to the demise and the downfall of the U.S. Postal Service. Because we now have auto bill pay. We've now got online payment. Just something you point, click, your bills are paid. Or you ain't even got to worry about them. Well, each time you do that, that's 50 cents from the post office. That's why they're 50 cents now, is because people have started calling in their payment or going online and paying. They don't send letters anymore. There's always email. Everything's just on a high-speed society. And then you go back to the 70s and 80s, and I remember my father talking about this. And I had one as a kid. It was a little bitty, I want to say 4 or 5 inch TV. It was black and white. That's what I played my video games on, my Super Nintendo. At that time, that was the best thing I'd ever had, because I didn't... my dad had a color TV. It was a big 20, 30, I don't know what it was, 30 inch tube TV. It wasn't a projection model. It wasn't a flat floor model. But it was color. So, I always wanted one of those. But the fact that I had my own TV in my room, I was ecstatic about it. And I know that's way off subject. But both TVs, or sorry, excuse me, the TV that I had in my room that I played my video games on, granted it stayed on channel 3 because of my video games, but to be able to change the channel, I had to get up and turn it. Even though I had no TV. I mean, I grew up in the boonies, okay? You were lucky if on Saturday morning, where I was, if you got Knoxville. A station out of Knoxville that still broadcasted TV over the air. And it was very seldom. I think I do remember my grandparents of a morning time. Sometimes they would have a cartoon that would come over the air. But even their TV, you got up to change it because they're old school. They are old school. Don't even have a cell phone. They said they don't need it. They don't ever. We got them the prepaid cell phone one time. I think they might have kept it a year, so they don't pay. They don't use it enough to buy the minutes for it, which they don't. But old school. And that brings back to my process of the more we build stuff to make it automatic, even though it makes it make the job seem so much easier sometimes. You know, when does it come to a point where we're not going to have to do anything? Or is the next idea going to make exercise machines that do all the exercise for you? Like make you... I don't know how that would work, but, you know, we'd have to. Because if everything's automatic, then what are we going to do with our lives? If there's no chores, you know, and some people, you know, they're fortunate enough to have easier jobs, whether they're less stressful up here, that's a whole different story, because I know sometimes office jobs can be worse than physical jobs. But does that make it to a point where we really have nothing to do? Because the minute we get home, we can sit down on the couch and do nothing. Because, you know, they've got machines that can make your food for you. Like, I seen a video on Facebook, and I may be able to find it and post a link to it in the description. This machine, you know, McDonald's, their workers are demanding $15 an hour, which makes no sense because they can't get the order right anyway. This machine, somebody walks up to the counter, places their order on a touchpad, and this machine back in the back makes the entire order with maybe one person overseeing it or working on it. I can't remember. But one person. That's crazy. When's it going to get to the point where these things are cooking everything for us? But we lose that sense of responsibility that we're supposed to take care of ourselves and our family. But I'm not meaning this to be a downside to things. Because there are a lot of good things that are automatic that's made life a little easier, kind of taking the long roundabout path away from doing things, you know, like farming. Could you imagine having to harvest tomatoes or corn or whatever from 200 acres by hand? No, I wouldn't do it. And you'd have to pay a bunch of people to do it. So they made a tractor edition. Let me say that. Tractor edition that would harvest it. They've got one for just about any vegetable you want. Stuff like that, that's great. Because these things need mass produce. Because you can't have a farm in the city. So you got to supply the city folk with food. So, got to do something. And there are a lot of terrain in the U.S. that's good for farming, but there's a lot that's not too. Obviously, you can't farm in a lake unless you want to farm fish or cranberries, if you can control it enough. But I guess my thought or my opinion that I'm leaving you with today is the world going too automatic, or are we at the perfect point to just stop and say, we're good? Or are we going to keep on going? And is that going to be a good or bad ending? Comment below your opinion. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Like this video if you liked it. I want to thank y'all for watching. Peace and God bless.